now. APG, the Vikings on the other side. 3 nades, 2 nades getting cooked up now. Molly flies through as well, but Ace gets a direct hit from 1T. MVKE, the Vikings, now here, looking to put up a crusade up against APG. Unfortunately for them, though, can't draw in the distance for them to close it out. But one player, once again, 10D, will get dropped down to the ground. Bit of an exchange here off the nades here, Contra.
Yeah, MVKE playing offense and defense at the very same time. That connection onto Ruthless might be worth something, and now he's down to only 1 shot remaining, but he exchanges perfectly up against Wu T. Backup follows suit, and the rest of APG is unstoppable.
Nade once again to close out the clash. APG and eliminations to their name.
Absolute obliteration. And all the perfect utils toss is how APG triumphs up against 2 of these squads that we've witnessed just getting sent off by bombardments. And RQ right now goes up close and personal up against the rest of Team Secret. They took a long while to get back into the island, and upon arrival is met by even the likes of the Tigers of 7-9 over on the outskirts. So sandwich in between, they gotta play it slowly. Whereas Team Secret, they're also in the battle of the zone up against the rest of VPE, while Yummy's claiming the zone by himself.
Vampires here. Lazarus looking to sustain. For the side of Team Secret, no, only Yukai is going to be all alone and kicking for the squad, as RQ has been able to feast on the first initial 3 members here off the squad. One player from the side of Vampire Esports said that it's going to be Gooey here. No, never mind. Lazarus able to get a cut off, and that is going to be Team Secret here, putting it down to the top 5 squads remaining inside of this round. APG, 7-9, Vampire Esports, RQ, and Boom Esports. They try to stay alive, but Boom Esports can't contain it.
My, this has been the fastest round that we've seen so far inside Wrangle. Only stage 6, and we're already down to our final 4 remaining. As much as Boom Esports was trying to hold on to that spot, they were down to only Yummy to hold out, so eventually they gave way to the sure firepower of the rest of 7-9 early on. And somehow, after so many fights, Vampire Esports still remain as 4. And we've got APG fully stocked up from all the battles that they had up north. I think that they're definitely hot favorites alongside with VPE to take this one home.
Yeah, definitely. VPE. Outside APG. You voted for them. And so far, you call out VPE, APG looking to take the spotlight. Next one up against VPE, and that will be. They're knocked there, but not too certain if they can thrust out the elimination. Nope, too much coverage to deal with, but if ever APG can just put themselves in a better state in rotation and have more obstacles to play around with, maybe till then it can really slither out of this round, but still too much factors to deal with. But no, another player from the side of APG finds Vexcry on 7-9. And APG, they're feeling it right now.
Man, Vexcry just made a debut today, and he's already down on his knees already. I don't think that 7-9's got enough time to even go in for the resuscitation. And look at APG. They're kind of greedy, taking a lot of that space, but rightfully so, where they've been able to win battles from the uphill grounds. And this is that tandem working it out. And Ripple still finding Zyle in the process, but quickly traded out with ease, coming with the support from right down under.
Ooh, bit of a tall order here for Vampire Esports. Fortunately, though, they do have a lot of coverage in this ridge to play around with. On the rituals, they have RQ on the other side. Same goes for the side of APG, but the zone is drawing in near, closing it out now. Starting to hurt just a little bit. And they don't really have any options aside from to just try to go for the commitment or off the rotation. Moose trying to go for the rotation, but unfortunately Reflux finds one. Able to get a securement as well off the elimination. Another player might spike the dust here, and the shotgun to the face! Wise! Vampire Esports now here collapsing, falling into shambles.
He's just a one-man army handling all the members of Vampire Esports, and they're denied that space from even making it in. And here comes Doc. He lands the final blow, and they secure themselves into the top 3. Vampires only good for 5 points of elimination. And now, with all the control in their hands, APG is hoping to find the finishing touches. But 7-9, they still have 3 members, though, so they can still fend off against the tree that's been really racking the majority of points. It's been 15 eliminations already for APG.
Looking back a lot more, APG. Gets one done. One player alive for the set of RQ, just hiding behind the sedan. And APG, they're looking to try to chase this one apart. And they got their visuals already up against a player from the set of RQ, but they got to deal with 7-9. Gonna be 2 players there. RQ though is last player, just can't find any breathing room. So much casualties he has to worry about from the left to the right to the front side.
To me, it's just pretty insane on how they've been actively hunting out. You know, they weren't just sitting around the gas station, which they booked very early on, and 7-9 has been able to claim that final point up against RQ, so it's down to this 3 versus 2 duel. 7-9 weakened from that ambush coming from the back, and now it is a tall order to even find those members of APG when they're just tucked by the very edge of the zone. They're not even in there just yet, so APG, they're just gonna send all their utils, and it does clip onto Satria. It feels like there's a tracker on these nades of APG.
Yeah, APG has always been playing off the nades, and it has been prevailing. And just like that, it brings them the initial win of the first round of today's broadcast. Wrangle onto their name, APG finally bagging in another chicken dinner.
And this is in a convincing fashion as well. I'm happy about this since I racked myself another point from the predictions, but then again, it's just absurd on how well they've been able to really deny all that space coming from the rest of the team, starting off by zoning off RRQ from the islands, and then anybody entering from the northeast section of the map, they just get obliterated as well. Then you saw what went on those fights up in the quarry bunker. It just was a couple of nades to just fend off against pubg esports, 52 esports, you name it, they've got it.
They got it for sure. I mean, it was pretty evident as well that they were bound to win this initial round, because despite looking at how they were tossing up and dealing with the gunfight, and especially the utility usage, hands down probably the best team here in regards to rocking the nades.
Sure enough, I don't see any other team here that has been able to really find that level of finesse and that level of accuracy with all of these members really putting up the damage numbers where it's all about 500 damage that they've been able to churn out, so to speak. So it wasn't just Ruthless doing it all alone, but he's definitely in some of the best spots possible around that very pure sector towards the tail end to really just hunker down onto that spot and just deny these teams from really coming inbound. So perfectly executed from the rest of APG. We want to see more of this in the upcoming matches, and Alpha Gaming with this crazy number, I think they'll be easily sitting at the top.
Yep, definitely, man. I mean, that's probably a pretty convincing run. I mean, if not, they were able to at least bag in 20 plus points at least from this initial round itself. Now, the rest here for set of RQ 7-9 and Vampire Esports, yes, they had the survivability, but unfortunately for them, really sustained the force that APG was able to bring into the table.
Sure enough, we gotta also commend how well 7-9 has been able to improve themselves overnight, since that they have a lot of dismal performances falling flat at 18, 16 spot for many times, but moving into the top 3, this definitely resuscitates their hope moving into the grand finals, where they've also been able to offer plentiful of damage despite only getting themselves 4 elimination points. I mean, we can't blame them. We saw so much was going on inside that very pure sector that they had to also play defensively in order to make it to the top 2.
Yeah, definitely, man. Hands down. 7-9 tried to have it all, but there was never really a certain moment of time where it seemed like the round really favored them. APG just always has been control. And obviously you can't mention the MVP of the match without a player from the side of APG, and it is going to be Ruthless here with 7 eliminations to his name.
It's just crazy accurate. I mean, usually it takes about, 100 damage to knock somebody down, and he just really confirms so much of all these numbers so efficiently along